Welcome back to my channel, baddies. I have something so exciting today. Okay, I love neons. Love, 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 love. I'm gonna teach you how to do a hand-painted tie-dye. And I have another cool little trick for this tutorial. So this really fun, colorful leopard spot vinyl is actually HTV. It's heat transfer vinyl. But I'm gonna show you how I was able to put this on a cup by using my heat gun, which expands your options when picking vinyl for your cups because there's so much really pretty HTV and you can actually use it on a cup. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. I think I'm gonna keep this. And I have a little surprise for my loyal baddies, so watch all the way till the end because you won't wanna miss out. And thanks for watching, you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for the support. Besitos. Let's get right to the fun part. So we're gonna be using this fine point paintbrush. I got it at Michael's. And I bought this plastic palette at Joann for like $3. I'm gonna be applying my neon colors that I'm gonna be using. And also, please make sure that you have a paper towel and a plastic glass of water so that we can rinse our paintbrush in between colors. A lot of people, when they start their tie-dye, they oh my gosh, we just started, we're already having problems. They use a highlighter. I didn't use a highlighter to guide me. I just kind of went for it. If you guys have been watching my tutorials for a while, you know most of the time I just kind of eyeball it. But anyway, we're gonna start at the very center and we're just gonna kind of fan out, almost like a little like ray of sunshine, but in neon pink. We're just gonna fan it out all the way around. Now, guys, what I discovered as I was painting this tie-dye is that the more that you fan out the little lines, the prettier that the overall look is going to look in the end. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. The very first time I ever made a tie-dye, it was hideous. Oh my gosh. I feel so bad for whoever got it when I first started. I hope that person's not watching this tutorial or they're gonna be upset. But anyway, guys, make sure you rinse your paintbrush in between colors and then just use your paper towel to dry it off, okay? And then you go right into your next color. I'm going to continue my story about the first person that got my tie-dye, but I'm just going to explain to you. So some people only use 3 colors to paint their tie-dye because they're freaking amazingly talented and they can basically lay the second color and pull from the first color they laid and like combine a completely different color. Like for example, they can lay yellow and then lay green and then mix the 2 colors in the middle to combine blue. I don't know. I can't do that. Like it doesn't come out right for me. So I went ahead and just like use the actual colors that I was supposed to use. I didn't try to like get those colors by mixing 2 other colors. So if you're amazingly talented and if you can do that, kudos to you. Do it that way. But I went ahead and just did it this way. And it was really fun, you guys. I think I sat down and got this tumbler done in like 40 minutes. It was really, really fun. But anyway, so it's going to be the same repetitive motion. You are just going to move on to the next color. And then you're going to fan it out like this, just the way we're doing. We're going to keep doing the same thing all the way around. And don't be shy about making those lines really short. Don't worry about if you're going to run out of room. If you run out of room, then you run out of room and those are the colors that you use. It's fine. Don't worry about that. Try to fan them out as long as you can because that's going to give you that really pretty finish. Anyway, let me move on to my story that I was telling you right now. So yeah, like when I first started, this person reached out to me and she was like, hey, can I order a tie-dye? And me like being super confident, thinking I was like a badass. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, of course. I even had the audacity to say too easy. Knowing damn well I had never done a tie-dye. I went and I bought acrylic paints and a paintbrush and everything. I prepped my tumbler because you guys know I always start with a prep tumbler, sanded, cleaned up, and spray painted. I went to town. I made several mistakes. Looking back, I know what those mistakes were. For one, I didn't buy neon color acrylic paints, and it definitely showed in the overall outcome of the tie-dye. But I'm going to show you guys, real quick, like, well, not real quick, but I'll show you guys towards the end of the video. I'll insert a before and after picture of my tie-dye before and my tie-dye now. But I basically made my strokes a little too small, so it didn't look fanned out. It didn't look like an actual tie-dye. It was just a mess. And back then when I looked at it, I thought it looked great. I was like, wow, this looks great. You're a boss ass bitch. Who's he gonna leave you for? But now I look and I'm like, wow, who has that cup now? Oh, my Lanta, that's embarrassing. Sorry if you got that cup and you're watching this. I'm so sorry. Message me and I'll totally send you another one. But anyway, guys, so yes. So it's just perfect though, because it just goes to show you like your growth and how far you can come. Truly, you guys, even if right now you're doing something and at the end you're looking at it and you're like, wow, this is really not that good. I promise you that if you stay consistent and you keep practicing, you're going to get better. It's just a fact. And my tie-dye is the perfect example. Now, I could sit here and lie and be like, no, guys, I'm perfect. Everything I've ever touched has turned to gold. No. My husband jokes sometimes. And also, I hope this doesn't make him sound mean, because if you know my sweet Jenny, you know that he is a walking saint. Literally, the sweetest man you will ever encounter. Just precious little angel from heaven. But sometimes I can be very clumsy and I like drop stuff all the time. I break it. Like if I touch stuff, I mess it up. I don't know. That's just the way I am. My husband's like, babe, you have stomach hands. And I'm like, stomach hands? He's like, yeah, sometimes you touch stuff and turn it into shit. Anyway, guys, don't think that he's mean or that he was being mean. He was trying to be funny, but I just laughed at his example that he used. Stomach hands. Who comes up with that kind of stuff? But anyway, so, okay, guys, we're just going to continue doing this with the colors. And if you guys see, I'm fanning it out, pretty nicely. Like, I'm not worried about making the lines too short. And I'm also, as I'm going around, I'm trying to keep all the lines the same length. Now, the colors are not very concentrated right now. Another mistake that I made the first time that I ever did tie-dye. Another mistake that I made was that I tried to make the first coat super thick to avoid having to go back and do a second layer. And the paint looked clumpy. It just didn't look good. So don't worry too much about getting full coverage on this first coat. We're going to go back and do the second coat. And when we do the second coat, we're going to use a little bit of a different pattern. Not pattern, but like instead of pushing our brush out the way we're doing right now, we're going to pull our brush in. And I'm going to show you what that's going to do to the tie-dye. So it's very important to come back and do a second coat anyway. So just make sure you do thin little strokes, not too bulky on the paint, and just keep fanning it out. And then once we're done, we're going to hit this with a blow dryer. And then we're going to come back and we are going to apply our second coat of colors. Okay, guys? Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. You guys are painting along, or you guys are planning on doing this. I think that this was a really easy cup to do because I sat down and got it done in 45 minutes. I mean, truly, it was a very fast process, and I liked that, I didn't have to sit there and glitter and then, seal and then wait for it to seal and then seal again and then epoxy. I was able to get everything done all in one little shot and then just epoxy it. So that was really nice. Sometimes I can be pretty impatient, and when I start a cup, I'm like, I want to get it done now. Anyway, guys, okay, I'm going to let you listen to a little bit of music because I feel like I have not stopped yapping. But if you just continue to watch the way that I am doing my strokes and the way that I am pulling the colors, and if you follow this step by step, you should end up with the same result. So tell me that we are going to have matching tumblers, please, because I live for matching tumblers.
I remember when remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. Come on now, who do you think you are? Ha ha ha, bless your soul. You really think you're in control? I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. And I think you're crazy, just like me. Ever since I was little, it looked like fun. And it's no coincidence I've come. And I can die when I'm done. Maybe I'm crazy, but maybe you're crazy. Maybe we're crazy.
Okay, my loves, so for the second coat, we are going to take our color and we are going to pull it inward. Okay, so as you guys can see what I'm doing here, this is going to give it a really cool, like spiky, more tie-dye look. You'll be able to see more as I start doing this to all of the colors. But doing this second coat and pulling the color inward is what really pulled this whole thing together for me. And this is going to be the final step for our tie-dye. You just want to go ahead and do this to every single color. Just make sure you take the color and we want to like kind of trace it over to give it a second coat and then pull it inward to the next color. So I'm just going to do this over and over until I've done every single color, and then we're going to hit it with a blow dryer and move on to our next step. I hope that you guys are enjoying this tutorial. I had a lot of fun making it for you. I have a whole section in my cell phone, my notes with like full of ideas of tutorials that I want to do for you. And I always like tell my husband, I'm like, honey, I have so many ideas, but there's not enough hours in the day to like do everything. And I'm the kind of person that, I don't know if you guys are this way, but like whenever you think of an idea or if you see a tumbler that you love and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to make like a version of that, and you want to like dive right in and do it because you're so excited to like see that idea come to life. I am that way. So it's really hard for me to have a notepad or to have my notes full of like tumbler ideas and not be able to like jump in and do them all in 1 week. I have to wait and do it patiently every week so that I could record it and show it to you guys. So but anyway, I hope that you guys are loving my content so far. I love every single day when I release a tutorial. I always come back and read the comments. It's my favorite thing. As the days go on and people continue to leave comments, I still try to come back as much as I can to read them, but that first day, I read the comments the whole day. And I love the feedback. You guys make my day with your feedback. Just so you guys know, your comments make a really big difference in my day. So anyway, I'm going to spare you guys making me watch this painfully to the entire tumbler. I'm going to cut it off here and move on to the next step. But you guys get the gist of it. You're going to go around, you're going to do every single color, but this time you are going to pull the color inward. So let's go ahead and move over to the next part. Now, please keep in mind that before I moved on to adding the glitter, I blow dried this tumbler until it was completely dry to the touch. Okay guys, now my tumbler is completely dry, so I can move on to the glittering. I am of course gonna do the tack it method. You guys know I'm obsessed right now. I normally don't dilute it with water, but I had to do it today because I am almost out of tack it and I had to stretch it as far as it could go. Now, you guys already know the drill. We're going to apply it. We're going to do nice thin coats, make sure that it's not lumpy or bumpy, and then we're going to hit it with our blow dryer and apply our glitter. If you have more questions about the tack it method, please feel free to go back and watch my tack it method Milky Way because I explain how to do the tack it in detail. Okay guys, I do want to apologize in advance. I don't remember the name of the glitter or the company that I got it. I have had this fine opal that I used for a very long time in this pixie cup. I don't even remember why it's not in its original container, but I thought this was the perfect opportunity to use it. But do not be sad. Any fine opal that you use will work. It just has to be fine, okay? But any fine opal or cheat glitter that you can get your hands on is gonna give you the exact same effect. So we are going to do this. I only did one coat. I let it dry, and then once it was completely dry, I made sure I brushed any excess glitter off, and then I went ahead and went in with my very first coat of epoxy. I'm already obsessing, oh my gosh. I'm gonna let this spin for 24 hours, then we're gonna come back. Oh my Lanta. Okay, that is crazy beautiful. We are going to add our decal. Let me show you, let me put you onto something, you guys. The vinyl on the left, which is the colorful leopard, it is HTV. It is heat transfer vinyl made for shirts. But I was able to apply it over my black adhesive vinyl using a heat gun. Guys, don't sleep on this trick because it worked like a charm. And I have so much HTV, like I have sunflower HTV, like any beautiful print that you could imagine, I have it, and I feel like I have more colorful options in HTV than I do in adhesive vinyl. So I couldn't find something that I liked to put over the cup, and then I opened my drawer with all my HTV and I was like, you know what? This vinyl is perfect for this cup, so we're just gonna take a chance. So basically you just want to transfer it over your black adhesive vinyl, and then you're going to take your heat gun. Okay, super simple. You're gonna hit it with your heat gun, and it's gonna kind of like blow up a little bit, like it's gonna get air, like it's gonna get air in there. You're gonna press it down as tight as you can with your squeegee, and you can repeat that as many times as you can until the vinyl stays on. And then once you've got that completely pressed down, you're gonna go ahead and secure it to your tumbler. Look at that, you guys. That is so beautiful, and I'm so happy that I was able to like use HTV because it's so perfect for this cup. Now, just to be safe, because I'm a little panicky Susie, I went ahead and hit it with my heat gun one more time once it was on my tumbler, and then I pressed it down with my hand as much as I possibly could, just to make sure that it was secure, to make sure that it was really on there and that it wasn't gonna lift once I epoxied. And oh my gosh, best choice I've ever made. Now I'm gonna add another decal to the front of my tumbler, just the word baddie. If you guys have been following me for a very long time, you know that ever since my very first live, sorry that you guys can hear my son's over dramatic coughing, hee hee. You guys know that since my very first live, I have always called you guys baddies, and it just kind of became this thing. So you guys are my baddies, and you will always be my baddies. So once we get both decals on, we are going to go ahead and seal this with epoxy. And then you're probably all wondering how I finished off the bottom of my tumbler. As soon as we let this spin for 24 hours, I'm going to show you exactly what I did. The good news is you don't have to wait 24 hours. You just have to wait a few more seconds. I had to wait a whole 24 hours. We're going to poppity pop bubbles, pop, 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 pop. And then we're going to come back and I painted the bottom of my tumbler with neon pink acrylic paint. I let it completely dry before I apply my final coat of epoxy. Now I have a little surprise for my sweet loyal baddies that watch my tutorials all the way to the very end. I made an extra tie-dye tumbler and I power washed it with neon pink spray paint. It's beautiful. It is the one on the right. I am going to gift it to one of you. The only thing you have to do to enter the giveaway, go comment on this picture in my Instagram. I'll put my handle in the description. Comment a purple heart and I'm going to pick one winner from the comments and mail you this tumbler for free.